Hi there, Lee Farnell here, and thanks for listening to Leading Your Best Life. Look, I want to talk to you today about feedback. Feedback's the breakfast of champions, they say, but how do we use it? How do we use feedback to feed forward? Stay tuned. Well, this has come about because both in the business and the coaching and the sport, we've had this ongoing issue with people not giving good feedback or appropriate feedback or using emotional intelligence when they give feedback. So I thought I'd just touch on some key points around giving people feedback and or receiving feedback, because it's a two-way street. Let's touch on some of my notes. I've actually got, this is some notes from my leadership notes on feedback in our Lee Farnell Best Business leadership and team development training. But let's just talk here about, as a leader, how do I hold people accountable to standards or hold people accountable to agreements that have been made, or even behaviour that's unacceptable or not up to standard, or where the feedback needs to be given. Now, you've all heard the saying, Ken Blanchard wrote it in the 1 Minute Manager years ago, feedback is the breakfast of champions. Feedback's the breakfast of champions. What's he talking about? Well, he's saying if you're going to be a champion, you need to be consuming feedback on a regular basis. But that also then means you need to be open to feedback or even soliciting feedback. Now, again, we use the deliberate practice model if we're talking about consciously, deliberately practicing to get better and better, having a Kaizen mindset, a continuous and never-ending improvement mindset. So as a coach and as a leader, particularly as a leader of an organisation or a leader of a sporting team, or if you're in the leadership group, as a leader, you are responsible for the integrity of the rules, the standards, and the systems. Integrity being, this desk that I'm sitting at, if I shake it and it like shakes, it lacks integrity. But if I shake it, try and pull it, and it doesn't move, it has integrity. It's solid. And so if we've set rules, but people keep jumping outside the rules, or we've set standards, let's just take punctuality. Punctuality is a great example of people's adherence to standards. If we have a meeting at 10 o'clock and one person's at the meeting, but the two partners or two senior people are not there till 2 minutes past or 5 minutes past, what does that tell you? What does that tell you about standards of punctuality? Now, again, you might say, well, if that's only late to one meeting in a year, it doesn't matter. But chances are, if they're late to one meeting, they're late to more than one meeting. Not only that, let's just take meetings. Do they start on time and finish on time? Do the meetings have integrity, or do they drift on and drift on? Is there a system that's followed? As we say, the trick is to get the team to be self-managing. The team should be self-managing so that they're actually harder on themselves than you as a leader or manager might ever be. But as the leader, you set the tone from the top. Tone around punctuality, tone around positivity, tone around optimism, tone around problem solving, tone around can do, tone around getting things done on time or as promised. You lead by example. And as we say, leadership is a function. Leadership's a function. Anyone can be a leader, but the point is you don't need 20 leaders operating at once. But let's go to a couple of tips here. Before you bother with giving feedback, make sure people are clear on the goals, on the directions, on the expectations. This is where we're heading. These are the goals that we're looking to achieve, or the milestones we want to achieve. This is our strategic plan, or these are whether it be these are the games we want to win this season, or this is where we want to finish on the ladder, or these are the products we want to get out. What are the goals? But then make sure everybody knows the team goals and what's expected of them as individuals. Where are we heading as a team, and what do you expect of me to make it happen? That's again where the team code is so important. What do we want? What do we expect from people? What do we want to see and hear versus what don't we want to see and hear? And I'm doing a session with our water polo club tomorrow night on teams setting team rules, team code, so everyone gets on the same page. We say, how can everyone be on the same page if there actually isn't a page? And I'm using examples there of both our Torpedoes National League water polo team, but also the All Blacks or Sydney Swans, or these days most AFL clubs have team code. The question then is, are the leaders in the leadership group modelling the team code? So if we looked at Richmond when it was winning its 3 premierships, Trent Cotchin and the leadership group led by example. When the West Coast Eagles were playing super well, they led by example. If the leaders are not leading by example, you can be certain the team code lacks integrity. Now, the newer I am to the job or the newer I am to the team, the more I need to be told or instructed very explicitly in what you require me to do, because I will have brought my old thinking, my old patterns, my old skill or competence level or expectations or standards with me. Chances are they'll need to be upgraded or improved, or at least given clear instruction during the induction phase. Here are 3 other big questions before you start. 3 questions to ask yourself as a leader before you start coaching and giving feedback. When a person's performance is not up to scratch, something's not quite working, you go, 1, is it an attitude problem or is it a skill level problem? Now, if the person's performed to that level in the past, then clearly it's not a skill level problem, it's probably an attitude problem. Also, what outcome do I want from this feedback session? What's the outcome I want? I want change to behaviour in most cases. I want the person to either get back to the level they were at, or I want to be able to coach them and give them ideas or elicit ideas on what they can do to take their performance to the next level. Remember, we say feedback is feed forward. Feedback is feed forward. The purpose of the feedback is to help the person move forward, not to actually dump your crap all over them, as Ken Blanchard talks about seagull management, where you come in, make a whole lot of noise, drop a whole lot of muck around and get out, leaving people feeling terrible and a stench in the room. All you've done is dumped a whole pile of crap, rather than how have you actually helped people perform better. That's where question 3 comes into account. Have I got my own emotions in check before I start this feedback session? In other words, how emotionally intelligent am I? Or am I just I'm going to really put a rocket up them, I'm going to tear their arms off, I'm going to rip their heads off. Yeah, that's really going to sort them out. To be a bully or, emotionally juvenile. No, I want to actually help develop and improve performance. And of course, I may challenge them, but as one of the coaches said, I think it was the great Wayne Bennett, rugby coach, I challenge you because I care. I challenge you because I care. The final tip I'm going to give you in this particular lesson is, when you are giving feedback with people, particularly corrective feedback, the best person to give you feedback is the person you listen to best, which is you. That is, the best person to give feedback is where you elicit so that the person gives themselves feedback. Get you to give the feedback. And what that then does is open up loops in both the conscious and subconscious mind, rather than what you need to do is, yes, it's quicker to just tell them, but what are you doing? You're creating a dependence rather than an independence. You're creating a disempowerment rather than an empowerment. Anyway, you want to find out more about this, touch base with us, because when we're talking about putting wings on your sales results, we want to be putting wings on your sales management and wings on your sales coaching. And we've got courses that do that, online courses, as well as join our club, join our community group to help you be part of an ecosystem to help you take your leadership, take your management, take your sales management, take your ability to help others move forward to the next level. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.